Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Batman the Telltale game. Um, hmm. I guess we barely accomplished anything in this episode so far. We were thrown in Arkham at the very beginning, we ran into the Joker, and then we cured ourselves from being infected with the poison, and that's about the only thing that really has happened. We're now going to the Vale residence where Vicky Vale's parents live to find out where maybe we can find Vicky Vale slash Lady Arkham.
I'm inside the Vale House.
This is the first house we've seen basically for the entire game. And it seems like they're gonna just have us walk forward to find that she's killed her adopted parents. There's nothing to interact with. It's more than likely that this is a house with elements that were copy and pasted from previous Walking Dead slash Telltale games, but I'm not really recognizing anything. I just have to assume all the 3D models are copy and pasted. Batman in general doesn't end up in people's houses that often.
Alfred, the Vales are dead. One body confirmed, but there was a lot of blood. Alert Gordon.
I wonder if this
I don't know
is
how
gonna
this
turn
connected
out.
to the drugs yet. Whatever they knew about it, Vicky made sure they kept quiet.
Stabbing out the eyes. We may very well find that it wasn't actually Vicky that killed them. In fact, it might be that somebody killed them, like the Joker, in that set Vicky Vale down this path. Otherwise, there's not really a lot of reason why Lady Arkham is doing anything at this specific moment. Because she would have had plenty of time before Bruce Wayne was really even at year one of Batman, where she could have tried to take out Bruce Wayne. If she knew Bruce Wayne was the bad guy the whole time, it only makes sense if she was waiting for Oswald, the Penguin, to establish his criminal empire in Europe and then be able to come back and fund her actions now.
Syringe. Seems she hasn't given up her old tricks.
Is this the same drug?
Yes, but this is several times stronger than the dosage I received.
Maybe she's escalating.
This seems personal.
Recent family photo?
Vicky's not in it. It shows the Vales with another child in front of an industrial office. There's a logo on the building.
Well, I guess that's gonna probably end up being... there's more to search, certainly. The case is that she felt like
I found a lock of hair.
they abandoned her.
Unique about it.
It was cut at a downward angle, probably with some force based on how clean the slice is.
I wonder if Vicky Vale is crazy and has been crazy this whole time. If that was really the case, though, then how did she ever even become a journalist? So
It's clean. This wasn't used as a murder weapon.
so it
Why was
almost
it lying on the floor?
makes sense if this was Vicky Vale's first few months or weeks out of that's a nice model. But oddly, when you look at this, it barely even has the art style on it, with a few black marks. But yeah, if you put a slightly different shader and texture on this 3D model, I could almost assume that it was from a different game. Yeah, I guess if
Large
if she
amounts of
was in
blood splatter
college
across the walls.
and she's
It's
just
not
getting out
steady
of college
like
and,
arterial spray.
and just got the job
Someone
of
was
being
swinging
a
wildly. Wait. There's a
investigator.
slight indentation where something bloody struck the wall with force.
Something thrown.
Nothing I can see.
Let's search the body, I guess. Yeah, you typically don't
There's an
gouge out
injection
someone's
wound on her neck.
eyes
Same kind Montoya and I
unless
both
it's an
received, but this one's
emotional
much worse.
attack. That's something
Her
that's
eyes
kind of
are
hard
gone.
to done.
Stabbed out.
That's disturbing.
That does fall in line with the Lady Arkham outfit. Her mouth is sewn up. Her eyes are sewn shut. It definitely feels reminiscent of a potential abuse situation. See, this is another case where I suspect maybe the hair or the wall indentation is right. And they have a system here where it doesn't matter what you pick.
No blood on the knife. No match.
Well, I guess I was wrong.
It appears Mrs. Vale attempted to fight back with this knife, but only managed to slice through the attacker's hair.
And then syringe in the wall. It's probably wrong. Wow, so they do just have straight up shake your head, you're wrong ideas. Where they didn't even think you would for a second.
Same device, same drug. This confirms that Lady Arkham is the murderer.
Seems like my software is glitching out, which really makes me suspect that they're either hacking my equipment more or the drug is still affecting me. And so they do have like several shake your head moments where you're just totally wrong. But you are more than likely never actually going to get it too wrong. Let's see, what is this paperwork?
It's a letter from Gotham Social Services about a monthly stipend for foster parents.
Vicky's a bit old for that, isn't she?
It's not for Vicky. They have a boy. This must be Vicky shortly after she was adopted.
Interesting, you can't click on that anymore. Can you go up the stairs? No. Can you go under the stairs in some secret panel? No. It's not uncommon for adoptive parents to adopt people just for the money or mostly for the money. So I guess we have to go this way, but this seems like this definitely is going to move the story forward.
Alfred found Mr. Vale.
Alive.
No. He's gone. 10 hours at least, judging by the state of his soft tissues.
All we can look at is the company logo.
Looks like a company logo. The belt buckle is covered in blood. Before he was hung with the belt, Mr. Vale was beaten with it.
Well, then I guess the belt buckle connects over here.
The indentation matches the shape of the belt buckle. It must have impacted with the wall during the attack.
And it's not his belt. Is there somebody back there? No, it's just like butterflies or leaves. Leaves blowing in the background. That's a case where putting motion in the background of a Telltale game grabs my attention more than it probably should. If I were Batman and I really cared about people, I'd be screaming out and calling for help
Looking it up now.
for the kid.
Yes, he's got a sizable warehouse in the industrial
And frankly, if you're
district
Batman, you probably
and a
should
fleet
be
of delivery trucks.
making a loud
Now
entrance
Vicky's got it.
always.
What exactly happened in that house?
I think I know. After we stopped her at the rail station, Vicky needed a place to hide her supply of drugs. Her father's trucks and warehouse offered the perfect cover. To do that, she needed them out of the way, with Vicky Vale fully assuming her new identity of Lady Arkham. Seems like she didn't need the Vales around to support her old one. Vicky showed up to attack her adopted parents, but only the mother was there at first. Miss Vale fought back and was able to slice off part of Vicky's hair.
Here we have
Vicky
just
then
like a
subdued
full
her with the
cut
same
scene.
drug she used on me, but a much, much larger dose. Nearly.
Even in this case,
She then removed the mother's eyes,
if Gordon
indicating a deeply personal motivation.
finds the hair,
This was
he's not going to
obviously some
assume
sort of
that Vicky
vendetta.
Vale's a bad guy. He's
Sometime
just
during
going to assume
this,
that
Mr.
Vale is here.
Vicky attacked him with his own belt, striking with the buckle until he was unconscious and bleeding out.
It
Finally,
attacked him
she
with his
dragged him to
own
the
belt.
closet and hung him with the
Well,
belt.
he's wearing a belt, so
The
it
blood
must have been a
lost
different
every way
belt.
before the hanging did.
That's horrific. She never acted out in such a violent way before. Why would she?
Alfred, I think someone's still in the house. Going to look for a heat signature. If anyone else
Yeah,
is
just
here,
now you're looking
I'll
for
find them.
someone else. You're ridiculous. Just completely ridiculous. Yeah.
Clear. Nothing here.
Yeah, of course he's under the stairway.
Anything?
No.
So this could have easily been Vicky Vale instead of the boy. I assume what has happened here is Vicky Vale has been exposed to the drug on accident herself, or intentionally did it. This is way more violent than before.
There's someone here, under the stairs, alive.
So don't just move the panel and have him potentially terrified. Talk to him. But that's not the Batman way, is it? No. Don't even do anything with any consideration of other people. It almost feels like this is just a callback to The Walking Dead
It's okay.
Telltale Games. You
I'm
gotta
not
have
gonna hurt you.
another kid
Sir,
in danger.
is everything all right?
It's a kid, Alfred. The boy from the photo.
Is he all right?
Aside from the shock and a few bruises, he seems okay. He might be able to tell me more about what happened.
Possibly. But if that's the road you go down, please do it with caution.
First of all, I would have him leave the house and call social services.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right.
Call social services now. Why are you hiding?
I'm sorry I scared you. It's going to be okay.
This is like the first opportunity
I
for
need you to
Bruce
tell me if
Wayne
you
to
saw
really
or
be a nice
heard
guy,
anything.
whereas every previous
This is important.
opportunity was a wrong choice.
I want to say something. Something about drugs, fighting the police. I don't know who. I don't know who because I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything because they're hidden here. Please don't send me to punishment.
Calm down. See, that does help me. Thank you.
it down.
So what is this? A new...
Hello, Batman. What a pleasure to see you.
That sounds like the Joker.
Let me guess. You're trying to figure out our next move. Figure out where the drugs are.
Hmm.
Did I get it? Am I close? Pathetic.
So we left Lucas at Wayne Tech, and still he...
All over the city, but I should have
But he
known
still
you were
found
dumb
this
when
one.
we brought you out into the open.
This is the drone Lucas Fox was building when canonically Batman would have never authorized a gun turret on a drone.
The hell?
If anything, it feels like Lucas has betrayed Batman too, which, heck, the game has already dragged two recognizable characters through the mud. Why not a third? See, and here we're potentially
Are you safe?
making him another Robin.
I'm okay.
And that's why you get him out of there. Don't traumatize the guy.
They're dead.
Let's see. Let's go with look away. Again, another example of the timer being way too long.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
they weren't always nice, but they gave me a place to live.
I promise. I won't stop until I catch the person that did
I
this.
feel like there was potentially a path here where he would say straight up that they were abusive parents.
You're the kid who saved Batman. And no matter what happens, no matter where you go, that will always be true. And I will always owe you one.
Batman.
Oh my God.
He was the only survivor.
And Montoya's back
Come on.
by the
Let's
side.
get you out of here.
Seems almost like they want to introduce Montoya as a character who would show up later, maybe even
Jesus.
adopting that kid.
Was this the children of Arkham? Again? Why would they attack a family like the Vales?
Because their daughter, Vicky, is Lady Arkham. She killed her own parents so she could use their company warehouse to stockpile the rest of her drugs.
Vicky? Vicky Vale, the reporter? And so, who was the boy then?
Let's see. He's a witness.
He was hiding in a closet when the attack started. He may know more than he realizes.
Maybe that was the wrong choice.
He says he heard something about drugs and attacking the police. Can't confirm anything, but it sounds like the children of Arkham might be plotting something with those drugs against your people.
Thanks for the heads up.
The warehouse is Vale Oil and Heating. You should secure it as soon as possible.
I'll get on it right away. What about you?
I've got something I need to look into.
Lieutenant, what's going on here?
Securing the crime scene, Commissioner.
Oh, we actually are going to see the commissioner.
Not anymore, you're not. I'm taking over this investigation. I can't risk you allowing Batman to contaminate our crime scene again.
I don't know why you're going to be a jerk to this guy, even though I don't know who he is. Even if he was corrupt, like, they've really not told the player that. There would have been opportunities. And that was a decent experience section,
That's right.
but
I have a bad feeling it was no accident.
it wasn't really
Don't
long
forget
enough.
Lucius on the line for me, please.
Of course.
Let's get a closer look at you.
And now we've got another minigame investigation. It would have been nice if there was more of these earlier on,
Adhesion regulation reads normal.
but now they're getting stacked up too much. What's funny is I thought I turned off the gameplay interface back to minimal, and it is minimal, and yet I'm still getting prompts on the top left of what I'm supposed to do. I guess because otherwise you would be completely lost. You also can only rotate this one direction 180 degrees. No up, no down. can't go left. It can only rotate counterclockwise.
Electricity conductor. Everything looks functional. It should have worked. EMP functionality is all in the green. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, I was just assuming that the drone was specifically shielded against shock.
This is strange. This microchip is emitting a low bandwidth receiving signal, but it shouldn't be.
Like the ones you shut down in the GCPD.
Something like that. But Lucius had his eyes on the Wayne tech that the children of Arkham breached. This is something different.
Bruce, I have Lucius on screen now.
Good evening, Bruce. How can I help?
I need you to see something. Sending you schematics.
God, someone's found a way to get past my security upgrades.
Not just someone. Oswald Cobblepot.
Bruce, I am so sorry. I should have caught this, but he snuck right under my nose. What a mess. That sleaze Cobblepot at the heart of it all.
I'm gonna go with being nice to the guy, but I really suspect
Don't
he's
waste
working
time
with
beating
him.
yourself up about it, Lucius. Let's just focus on fixing it.
Right. Looks to me like he's introduced some sort of bug into your network.
That's how he's making my equipment malfunction?
Would also explain the headset scanners.
He could completely take control of your tech.
My lord, that would be catastrophic.
Is there anything...
This is going to be a case where Batman should get rid of all of his technology and just wear a standard padded suit.
He'll know we're onto him.
Let's see.
I'm tired of being on the defensive. Why don't we attack him instead?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea
I can certainly see
why
what I
the
can
Penguin would be able to
Thanks,
hack
Lucius.
things like that.
Bruce, you're
That's
going to
not something
oversee
that they've
Excuse
ever
us, Lucius.
indicated. Although, in all fairness, since a lot of the villains in Batman
Reports of children
are
of Arkham activity are
characters created from
down.
like the
These
40s
efforts
and
do not
50s,
come cheap.
it would make a lot of sense to make a lot of the villains just smart
That's
enough.
why I am formally seizing the Wayne estate. So the corrupt wealth of Gotham's elite can go to the better
So
purpose of
now it's not
protecting
just
Gotham's
unlawful
common
search,
man.
it's unconstitutional
Mr. Wayne has
seizure.
24 hours to evacuate his property and turn it over to the city, or he will be removed.
You can't let that egomaniac throw us out on the street.
I have to talk to him.
Harvey is scared, paranoid, but he clearly views Batman in a favorable light. Then again, maybe talking to an old friend is what he needs.
Yeah, at this point, we
Harvey's
need to go.
behavior is unpredictable, random. Who knows how he will react either way?
Like, at this point, we should go as Batman, because we're just going to end up in a fight and should just beat up Harvey Dent. Like, either way, this is going to end up bad. If we go as Bruce, it'll be a fight. If we go as Batman, it'll be a fight. So let's go as Batman, prepared for a fight.
Tonight, Batman saves Bruce Wayne.
Yes, about bloody time.
Yeah.
Don't screw this up, Harvey. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Why did I do that? I just can't second guess myself.
We need to talk.
Batman. Oh, you scared the hell out of me. It's good to see you. I was just telling someone how much I'd love to get you on my payroll.
You've gone too far. Leave Wayne alone.
Notice a lot of these lines of dialogues are going to be,
Is this about the whole seizing his assets
you're
thing?
not even going to get prompts.
You're not gonna break my legs, are you? Or maybe you're just gonna make threats. Words out that you don't get violent unless you have to.
If it comes to that.
Little brutish, don't you think?
And see, this is one of those cases where no matter what you pick, you're just going to get a corporate response.
Seems kinda small potatoes for you. Maybe you haven't seen the news, but he hasn't been the most upright citizen lately. Why should I do anything to help him?
Because I'm telling you.
You're losing your mind, and everyone can see it, Dent.
You want to save me?
I protect everyone.
So it seems. I guess I do owe you one. Wayne is just another curveball this stupid city threw my way. Him and his goons, the Waynes, the children of Arkham. I'm finally starting to understand. To see just how sick Gotham
seems like
really
it doesn't
is.
really matter what you picked
To
in
save
those prompts.
Gotham, I need to do some bad before it gets better.
Ready to go.
Do it.
What did you do?
Our Lady Arkham's drugs destroyed.
Man, we lost a bunch of our own guys. The apartment next door. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. That blast was way bigger than you said. We must have taken out a whole city block with it.
We stopped the children of Arkham. That's all that matters. That's what a leader does. I feel like I should thank you, seeing as you did give Gordon that tip.
Doing this, you're no better than the children of Arkham. You're worse.
No, I'm saving Gotham.
I doubt the police would see it that way.
There has been some conflict with the police, that's true.
See, this is
He really wasn't happy when I went
really
over his head to the
pointless.
location of the drug stockpile, but I had him taken care of.
What did you say about Gordon?
Okay, we're not gonna really kill him even if we throw him off.
No, hang on,
Bitch.
hang on. I had to make an example of him to get people to respect me.
Gordon is on Gotham's side, Harvey. He's fighting for this city too.
Batman, I'm sorry. It's like I told you.
Is it worth saving someone that's half
I took him to Crime Alley.
to save someone who is half good versus half bad? As an ethical argument, I would say someone who is neutral is probably still not worth really saving.
Here I thought we could work together. Let's take a ride, gentlemen.
It often gets very questionable why any kind of private military contractor or anything like that would work for someone so obviously insane.
Brainwashed. No, he's trying to help. The children of Arkham are out of control, and no one is.
And I guess we could have let them talk a little bit longer.
Batman. What a mess. Thank you,
Save
Batman.
the thanks and explain to me why I just watched half a city block go up in flames. Dent took out the warehouse with the drugs, the location that I gave to you.
Are you accusing me of something, Batman? Just say it. Come on. Let's hear it.
Calm down, Gordon.
Calm down, he says. 2 of my own officers were just about to execute me. A whole department of rats, and you're pointing a finger at me.
Tell me what you know.
By the time I got back to the precinct, Dent already had the information. He strong-armed it out of Commissioner Grogan. I didn't
Grogan.
even have time to scratch my ass before I got hauled out here.
Dent's position makes him dangerous. He's persuasive and he has power.
Dent thinks that what he's doing is best for Gotham.
Interesting. Are they really going to show smoking?
Martial
Nope.
law.
I know.
There's no saving him this time, Batman. And there's no world in which he manages to set this right.
Yeah, there's no saving him.
hope for a rabid dog. We need to lock him up and throw away the key.
Jesus Christ. This is what it's come to. We have a lot of work to
And we kind of knew it was going to come to
do.
that.
It's such a goddamn mess.
It would have been funny if there were actual
gotta start
branches
somewhere.
of the story where Harvey Dent was just a good guy and never went crazy.
You know your officers, Jim. Take the people you trust and start hobbling Dent's army. Get your precinct back.
This is actually a great scenario where
No, it won't.
Commissioner Lieutenant Gordon
But
can just
anyone can do it.
effectively shoot every corrupt cop
Trusted.
that's on the force and just
Gotta handle this
clean
first.
house.
We will get through this, Jim.
I'm glad we're on the same side.
Yeah.
Lucius, what's the situation?
I figured out how he's causing the feedback loop. He's somehow connected a black box computer to your encrypted network. God, it's like a digital battering ram.
Do we really need
Keeps us up,
explanations
he can
like
smash
this?
through the Batcave firewalls at any minute.
He'd have access to the Bat computer. Hang on, Lucius. It's Alfred. I'm patching him in. Al, Lucius figured out how Penguin's cracking my security. He has a device that...
I'm afraid we have another problem to deal with. Mr. Dent is pulling up to the manor as we speak, and he's not alone.
Already?
Oops.
Sir, are you all right?
Penguin's hacking assaults are getting worse. At this rate, he'll have my tech compromised by the end of the night. Only place he could be hacking me from is Wayne Enterprises.
Well, I don't envy your position. Even Batman can't be in two places at once.
Okay, so do we go to Wayne Manor or Wayne Enterprises? I mean, we kind of know something here that a lot of people probably don't know, is that at least in some of the comics, it's shown that Alfred is a very competent ex-military man. And we even saw in the preview him with a gun. So, and we also kind of know Alfred's not gonna die, and frankly, even if he dies, he's an old man. It's probably better to go to Wayne Enterprises on this point. I guess the question is, what's more important, catching the Penguin or stopping your equipment, and saving your equipment, saving people, versus saving equipment? And when you think of it that way, and when a Telltale game like this lets you just think things through for a second, which often you don't get those choices. Telltale games are very different from like the Saw movie, where you often have only a few seconds to make a decision before you've run out of time to reasonably actually escape the horrible death traps that are in the Saw movies, particularly the Saw movies after the first one. But since I do have time to think about it, people are worth more than gadgets. We go to Wayne Manor. We save Alfred. If there's any risk whatsoever to a human, that is way more important than saving equipment. Plus, I really feel like Bruce Wayne, and Batman, can still do his job without his equipment just fine. I mean, you can't stop his fighting ability and his detective skills that easily with a hack.
Going home.
Understood. See you soon.
And this is pretty much going to be, I think, it for this episode. And so we had one fight with Harvey Dent.
Not one step further.
And now we're going to have another fight with Harvey Dent.
Oh, come on, Hal. Put the rifle down. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Somehow, I don't believe you.
And this looks like a Batman drone.
Jesus, Hal, it's me, Harvey.
No, not the Harvey I know. The Harvey I know would never have massacred innocent civilians. He isn't a murderer.
I think we probably need to move fast.
To kill the enemy, no one calls it murder. They call it war.
Firewall breached.
Win the war against the children of Arkham. Going to be casualties?
Penguin is still hacking my tech. Guess I'll be doing this the old-fashioned way.
It's funny they put them in different suits, because I really was not thinking that these were just cops or corrupt cops by any mean. And that's a jump cut when really that should have been a pan cut to
I
keep
thought
the
we
previous
talked
shot
about this.
The time for
connected
talking
with
is
the
over, and
the
so
one
is your
before.
reign of terror.
So, how does this end?
Yeah, I definitely thought these guys
I wanna
were
destroy
private.
this house,
Um,
and you want to stop me.
I
can't
really
imagine
thought they
this
were
is gonna
just
go well
private
for either of us.
contractors, not actual
You're going to
police.
turn yourself into the authorities.
I am the authority.
Show's over, Dent. Time to go home.
You're right. Go home, Batman. I've got an estate to level. Now get out of here before I have you booked for obstruction of justice. You stand in my way. You stand in the way of the law.
Yep, and this is another one of these QuickTime event laden cutscenes that would have just been better as a cutscene.
I know.
It looks like a Tommy gun that's been very rusted.
Explosive slugs! You don't have any of those in that little belt of yours.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if this is really supposed to represent a real gun. I wouldn't be surprised if Telltale people just not really making games with guns in it don't even really know what a gun should look like when trying to model it. Yeah, and it really wouldn't have been anything special if Telltale as a company had just tried to make first-person shooters like so many other companies. There's dozens upon dozens of those kinds of companies out there.
The bat's mine.
I keep wondering if he's gonna hurt his face at some point to become the full Two-Face. It almost certainly has to happen. Before the next game, next season.
Your head or your heart?
Am I supposed to press something?
What's that sound?
What the?
If you could have done that at any point, why not do that way earlier? So it seems like what they're doing is they're burning half of him and leaving his face intact because of my decisions, where his face would have been damaged otherwise previously.
You don't understand, Batman. Without me, Gotham is doomed. Who will stop Lady Arkham? The Penguin? The children of Arkham?
As long as I'm around, Gotham will be fine. They don't need someone like you.
No. I'm important. I'm important.
Thank God he was finally stopped. Nice work, Batman.
My job's not done yet. I still need to find Lady Arkham before it's too late.
Well, I can take care of all this. Just need to figure out what to do with him. All the innocent lives he's responsible for. He should be locked up in Blackgate Prison. But that broken mind of his will probably only get worse in there.
Why are you even giving me a choice here? Obviously he's going to end up in Arkham.
That is too dangerous and too damaged to be kept in some holding cell at Blackgate. You have to get him into Arkham. They might actually be able to help him in there.
Yeah, you're right. I'll see what I can do.
But we know that's not going to happen.
You stay safe.
Not even in a Telltale game. We know if he shows up in next season, he's still going to be Two-Face, still going to be crazy. Like, if they were really going to commit to that idea, they should have started this whole season with, like, the Joker being rehabilitated and being your best friend or something.
Al, what's
Bruce,
wrong?
the computer.
It's Penguin. We need to cut the hard line now.
Bruce, all of your bat tech is linked to this computer. If you take it offline, it will all be inoperable.
If Penguin hacks in, he'll have control of all of it. I have to shut it down.
Why even having a conversation about that? And why did you build all of your technology to rely on a single point of failure? That's really, really dumb. Like, there's no reason for a grapple hook in particular to need to work with a supercomputer. There's really no reason for the car to completely not work without being connected to the supercomputer. It's crazy. Okay, choices. Did you promise Joker a favor? You and 49.5%. So it's almost a even 50 split, which I have to assume that at least 25% of the people who did promise a favor were just lying and planning never to deliver on it. That certainly was where I was coming from. But it is also an interesting idea. Me and 68.8% of players followed Joker's advice and made a phone call to get out of Arkham, which that number is a little high, but also the way that whole system was set up and that whole scenario was set up, the last thing you wanted to do is have a situation where you're just stuck in Arkham for the entire chapter, even though we know it really wouldn't go that way. I guess him being under the influence of drugs may have also allowed a lot of people to play differently than what they normally would play as. Me and 51.2% of players paid off the Enforcer, which that is a very rich guy, Bruce Wayne response. 48% of people didn't, and I assume that would have probably just been ramming the barricade otherwise, and it wouldn't really have changed the outcome. This probably wouldn't have changed the outcome either. This probably won't change the outcome either. Although promising him a favor may come back in season 2, and they may just assume that you did promise a favor, whether you did or not, because yeah, even the Walking Dead games, which really tried to have some of your decisions carry over to the next season, very little ever really did. Maybe one main decision and that's it. Me and 56.1% chose to intimidate Harvey as Batman instead of risking his wrath as Bruce. All of these decisions are getting to about 50-50. And yeah, it's about 57% of players have made it to this point in the game, so we are still somewhere right about half of the players didn't even make it to the end of it. Me and 45.6% of players stopped Harvey, which I imagine a lot of people just didn't consider the risk to Alfred as highly as I did. But once I considered that and thought about it, it's obvious that you should have went to protect Alfred over gadgets. What this probably means is very quickly in the next episode, we will take out Oswald or Harvey, depending on what choice you made here. And then the remainder of the last episode will almost certainly be focused around Lady Arkham, which I assume she'll be completely removed from the story by the end of the season, and that'll leave Batman alone and slightly successful, but just back to square one of being the protector of Gotham and all alone. Yeah. I assume taking out Harvey is the only decision that is going to really matter. And oddly, we don't seem to even have a next time this time. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that this season was this episode 4, was the last one actually made by Telltale, the original Telltale company, and then the last episode was made by the new Telltale company, or whoever would have picked up the slack, probably the new Telltale company. But that also doesn't really make sense because there's a whole nother season. So maybe they were just so incredibly rushed. Because yeah, there's been a next time in every previous experience. And maybe they just don't want to spoil the ending, but I mean, we're not really expecting too much here as far as the ending is concerned. And I guess we could look at the codex. Let's see. And it's just kind of telling you things that have happened. Nothing of particular interest. I think at this point we can pretty well assume that we won't see any other gangsters and we won't see any Court of Owls characters. I'm surprised Peter Grogan is even a character. He's a very late addition. And I'm really surprised the Vales as a family would even be given a codex entry. So the whole idea of hiding your technology didn't really accomplish anything. It's kind of pointless. What did I not click on as far as the codex? It still says some things new. Not seeing anything glowing. Interesting. That may just be glitched. So, in retrospect, were any of our decisions in episode 1 important? Not really. How can we hit the right bump to see episode 2, I guess? Left trigger, right trigger shows individual decisions, but to see the grouping, you just right bump. Because I saved Harvey over Selena, that was the only decision in episode 2 that lasted the longest, and it was just a visual decision of his face not being disfigured. No, but it really doesn't do anything to stop him from going crazy. Visiting Mayor Hill as Bruce Wayne didn't matter. Nothing with Hill mattered. Yeah, there's a lot of characters that you interact with where it just didn't matter. Look at the art style, by the way, on this. It is green as far as your decision, and then white text. Well, it's green as far as you and the percentage, then white text. Then there's a dull green and dull red percentage bar below it. Then you come over here, and it's a slightly different shade of a dull green and a definitely different shade of a dull red. And then you come over here in episode 3, and it's all green text, and maybe different shades of dull green and dull red. There's just no visual consistency to this. Like, yeah, that's a different shade of red. How badly do you have to program your code for something like that to happen? How badly do you not have standards in place for a style sheet to say all the text like this should look this way and work this way? And then you're back to episode 4 and you're back to the green with the white text, but it's now a different shade of red again. Maybe it's my eyes are playing tricks on me on the red, but I don't think so. Definitely feels like they're different shades. And clearly the text is different. I mean, I really don't care how rushed your game is. It would be just bad programming to not set a specific color for all text when programming it to be white by default, and then for green text you should set that as a specific color. For red text, if you show red text, that should be a specific color. It shouldn't be able to be constantly programmed differently. Let's see if there's any other place where we might notice things different. I think for the most part in the menu everything is just white text. Yeah, there's no excuse for that. And that's not the only problem by any means. It's just a very low level problem that should have never shown its face. Like, it's very, very easy to what would have had to happen there is somebody would have had to specifically make more than one variable for the color of text in those scenarios, or not use the variable at all and hard code it in a red, green, blue pixel color. Either one of those is not acceptable, really. Particularly when you're talking professional coding and programming. And I hate to say it, but I kind of suspect that's part of the problem. Is as much as the programmers that worked at Telltale complained after Telltale went out of business about the fact that the Telltale engine was a mess. At a certain level, it's a mess because the programmers aren't that good. I hate to say it, but it's kind of an obvious only thing you can take from it. Like, at a certain level, even if you're being rushed, you don't make bonehead mistakes like that. Even if you're being underpaid, you don't make mistakes like that. Even if you're using an engine that hasn't been updated in nearly a decade, which probably was over a decade by the time the Telltale engine really started getting used. There's still really no excuse for it. And maybe what I'm saying is unfair speculation. It very possibly is. But it does certainly reflect how, if you're working for a bad company that won't invest in your engine, if you're working for a company that is rushing you and causing you to make bonehead mistakes, you shouldn't work for that company, because that's going to reflect on you as much as it's going to reflect on the company. Yeah. And that's really pathetic. But I probably shouldn't be ranting about the programming when I could also highlight more basic flaws with almost every Telltale game, such as the writing is bad, which, yeah, once again, the episode here, barely had any writing in it at all, and it wasn't particularly good. The animation is awful. The screen directing and videography is awful. The game mechanics suck. It's mostly just QuickTime events or dialogue choices. There weren't even a lot of QuickTime events or dialogue choices for this episode. Yep, it all feels very old hat at this point also. When The Walking Dead came out, it was like a breath of fresh air and a new concept, a new idea, but it has been played into the ground by this game. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.